Hello, and welcome to the A to Z of Mega Drive, or for those of you in North America, the A to Z of the Sega Genesis. Today I'm going to be looking at a submarine simulator that was on the MS-DOS and ask the question, what happens when you take an MS-DOS game and cram it into a 16-bit cartridge? You can probably guess the results. Today we're looking at the 688 Attack Sub.
.688 Attack Sub was released for MS-DOS in 1989, the Amiga in 1990, and finally ported to the Mega Drive and Genesis in 1991. It's a single-player game only, and it was one of the earliest entries into the submarine simulator genre. In the game, you pilot one of two submarines, the American 688 or the Russian Alpha. The game has a beginner and standard difficulty mode, with the former making it much harder for enemies to pinpoint your location. The aim of the game is to complete various missions handed to you by your superiors. The missions can range from protecting a merchant vessel, to firing missiles at a nuclear base and making a daring escape. The missions also vary depending on which sub you choose. You might be protecting merchants with the US sub, but if you choose the Russian sub, you'll be trying to take the merchants down instead. The Russian sub even comes with slightly different graphics and Russian words on the menus.
If you look at the front cover, you get mixed signals. On one hand, you've got a nice piece of art with two crew members looking out at a successful sinking of a ship. But then on the front of the cover it says Simulator Series. If you're expecting an action-packed explosion fest like Jungle Strike, but underwater, you're not going to find it here. Most of the game, you're doing your best to avoid surfacing at all, and think again if you want to raise your periscope to check out the sweet explosions. You just got to give your position away to the enemies. Most of your time is spent looking at this map.
Or this map, which admittedly is pretty cool. Being a pseudo 3D thermal map, you can actually use it to your advantage and hide in holes in the seabed. You can also destroy your hull if you scrape it along the bottom of the ocean floor. How about some heart-pounding music to really elevate those intense moments? Well, apart from the intro music, all you're going to hear is the soft chugging of your submarine.
Adjusting engine speed, sir.
Oh, and this delicious nugget. I have to say, the digitized voices are some of the best I've heard on the Mega Drive, as it's not exactly known for crystal clear voices. I'm looking at you, Altered Beast.
Rise from your grave.
If we look on the back of the box, you pilot the 688, a Los Angeles class attack submarine, tracking Soviet Alpha subs. Sonar reports a submerged contact. You load and arm your Mark 48 torpedoes, set a waypoint and move slowly in for the kill. Slowly in for the kill is right. 688 Attack Sub is a simulation game through and through, and I have to be honest, I don't think this game is for me. I know there is a dedicated group of people that are fans of these kinds of games, but as far as this game goes, I find it boring. I mean, just look at the size of this manual.
It's huge. Just look at it. I feel like I could captain a real submarine after reading through this thing. Some parts are extremely helpful though, such as giving you tips on how to go about your mission. Mostly though, it's just a slog to get through, just like the game itself.
Doing anything in this game is slow. Do you want to get started with your mission? Sorry, you're going to have to wait for each letter to be typed out on the paper. You can press up on the D-pad to speed it up a bit, and down if you want to torture yourself by slowing it down. I left this mission on the normal speed and I'll leave it at the bottom so you can see in real time how long it takes to load. Do you want to fire torpedoes? Sure, wait 20 seconds for them to be loaded. Fire them, and wait 2 minutes for them to reach their target. Want to move from point A to point B? Well, I hope you don't mind travelling what feels like real time. The final mission, for example, was meant to be a thrilling escape after I fired 4 missiles at a nuclear base. It took me 2 minutes to finish firing missiles at the base, and over 20 minutes just to get to the exit of the map. Not only that, but there is a button in the game that's there purely to speed the game up. That's pretty typical with sim games, sure, but here it feels like they added it because they knew it feels like you're manoeuvring your sub through molasses rather than water. It doesn't help that the mouse controls are attached to the chunky Mega Drive D-pad. There are a few quality of life controls though, such as holding the C button whilst using the D-pad to quickly move across the screen, or the clumsy but necessary moving between screens by holding the B button and using the D-pad. I say it's clumsy because it also includes the diagonal direction too, and it can be sometimes difficult to select the screen you want to go to. As for the screens themselves, they each serve a different purpose. You have one screen for targeting your enemy and firing missiles, another screen for controlling your sub, one dedicated to using the radar, and so on. I can't help but feel a few of these screens could have been combined and condensed in some way. Do we really need to separate damage reports from the weapons, for example? It just seems like needless tedium working your way through the menus. I feel like the game is probably best played in its original form, on the PC with a mouse. The original MS-DOS version boasts the feature of being able to play against your friend via modem back in 1989. It also has a few extra graphics and sounds, such as hearing whales on the scanner. The Mega Drive version, however, has nothing to make it stand out. The graphics are nicer, sure, but it's not worth the upgrade in graphics for a downgrade in controls. Besides, I've saved you the trouble of playing the game, as after the video I'm going to show you the ending screen. That's not technically true, as the game doesn't have a true ending. You can play any of the missions in any order you like, so I'm going to show you a clip of my congratulations from my superior after doing the last mission. Then it just throws you back to the mission select screen. No fanfare, no cutscene, nothing.
I hope you've enjoyed this first episode of the A to Z of Mega Drive. I'm sorry I couldn't start with the first game on the list, which was 3 Ninjas Kick Back, but that game is expensive as hell and I'd have to sell a kidney to get it. Stick around for the end screen of 688 Attack Sub and I'll catch you next time. Bye!